Hey everybody. So today is tides, and one of the main causes of tides is the moon's gravity. So sometimes, to a lesser extent, the sun will play an effect on tides. And so the tide, when you're on the coast, every 6 hours the tide will come in, meaning the ocean level on the beach will come up higher, and then 6 hours later that water will kind of retreat. And so what's causing that is predominantly the moon's gravity, but sometimes to a lesser extent the sun is going to play a role in that too. Um, what's going to happen is because the Earth spins on its axis, certain points of Earth are going to be in line with moon's gravity. If it is in line with moon's gravity, that's going to be a high tide. If, like on the sides here of the Earth, if they are not in line with the Earth's gravity, they're going to be experiencing a low tide. Same thing down here in this diagram. You have the Earth, the sun, and you have the moon. If that location is in line with the moon's gravity, then those locations on Earth are going to experience high tide. On the other hand, those locations that are not in direct line of the pull of gravity of the moon is not going to experience tides. It's going to be a low tide. There's another type of tide that occurs just 2 times a month, and that is called a spring tide. That is when a new moon phase is happening and a full moon phase. So either one, that's going to be a spring tide. So all these will line up in a straight line, and that's going to be a spring tide. On the other hand, sometimes we're going to have a last quarter moon and we're going to have a first quarter moon. At those specific moon phases, we have what they call a neap tide. And the way you can remember that is this forms a 90-degree angle. And 90 degree begins with an N, and neap tide begins with an N. So the main idea to remember is in a high tide, it's going to be in line with the moon's gravity. Low tide, it's going to be outside the pull of the gravity. To remember spring tide, the sun, moon, and earth are all going to be in a straight line. It's going to be a new moon or full moon phase. And to be a neap tide, it's going to form a 90-degree angle and happen at first quarter and last quarter moon phases.